Today on a Front Row, we zero in on two events. One which saw Acting Governor David Archer Jr. speaking to the hearts of a select group of public officers, and the other, residents of District 9 committing to banding together to ensure issues plaguing them for decades and those that have been plaguing them as of recent handled, both right after a word from our sponsors.
We know that where you choose to bank matters, and it is your vote on what your funds do in strengthening our community. As your official Bank of Paradise, we invest and support the lifeblood of our economy by helping in the realization of personal goals for homeownership, education, and entrepreneurial visions, which support small businesses. We make it our place to connect with persons and worthy causes, and we have been doing so for more than 30 years. Where your money goes and what your dollars empower are your choice. And we thank you for choosing us, a bank that gives where it matters the most, for you, for our community, and a happier tomorrow. The National Bank of the Virgin Islands.
Everyone looks to the future, but no one truly knows what the future holds.
The number of people under the age of 20 with type 2 diabetes could increase by 49% by 2050. Let it be known that we all have a 30% chance of developing hypertension.
Globally, more than 300 million people of all ages suffer from depression.
More than 60,000 young adults aged 20 to 39 are diagnosed with cancer each year.
Obesity leads to problems such as stroke, heart disease, and kidney failure.
No matter your race, age, or color, we are all at risk.
These diseases can be managed or prevented if caught early.
But with the right medicine and the right doctors to keep us on a path to live a robust and healthy life,
we will live well.
Clear. Hi, I'm Cowboy, and I'm running for president of Stake. Thank you. And I will meet your needs. Some bathrooms are so expensive to build, they come with security. But at Staycation Butchers, our meats are affordable. People always ask me, Cowboy, where does your salmon come from? Well, our salmon comes from the water. I vote for Cowboy as a vote for quality, integrity, and consistency. So come into Staycation Butchers and cast your vote for me, your next president of Steak. Alexandra Durant approves this message.
No, I don't.
Now for the details. His Excellency, the Acting Governor David Archer Jr. recently addressed a group of public officers. His message was not the usual fashion.
The reality is, if we're lucky, we might have 4 persons in this room that's currently living in their greatest space of their life in their particular jobs. So that's why my conversation is not about your work. Forgive me. It's really about you.
The management and affairs of public officers are direct responsibilities of Archer Jr.
Whether or not you are zoning in your passion, whether or not if you love to fish, you fish every day, whether or not if you love to bake, you're baking every day, whether or not if you love your grandchildren or your own children, you spend enough time with them. Because life is precious and life is timely. And when we're fulfilled and when we're happy and when we're content, not on the job, but in our own lives, then when you come to the job, we can speak about your greatness. So my request and my thoughts for you today are rather simple. You work in an amazing department. with great leaders. But my question to you is whether or not, as a person, are you complete? Do you feel a sense of purpose? Do you feel fulfilled? Not on the job, but outside the job. Because when you have that sense of purpose, then, Mr. Donovan, can you draw on your people to speak about the changes? Then the actual brand is not just a logo, it's a lifestyle. Because if you're happy when you see the customers, when you secure them, you will smile differently. And the irate customers like myself who get on your nerves, they won't get on your nerves anymore because you're in a space of happiness. And when you're working and cleaning the grounds, you're not just working and cleaning the grounds, you're actually cleaning the grounds that provide the money to help you to buy the flour, to bake your bread, or provide the money to help you to buy whatever that is to help you to be happy. So as you change, as you add more amazing things to your organization, my question to you is this: are you happy? Can you say, if you leave the world today, like my good friend Pete, that you're content and you're happy? Because when you're content and you're happy, then we can draw on you when you come to work. And we can draw on the skills that you have. We can actually do more than you would normally because you understand it's not just a job, it's your life. It's an avenue and a vehicle towards your happiness.
Going even further, Permanent Secretary in the Department of Communications and Works, Ronald Smith Berkeley, challenged that it's time for some to stop pushing the victimization card.
And let me tell you something. There's some real good public officers. You hear me? So if you come up against anybody who tried to make you feel less than, as if, well, you are only good enough for government's work, take it from me, that's not so. I have met and have worked with a number of persons in the private sector that, in my view, cannot measure up, trust me on that, cannot measure up to a lot of you, maybe all of you sitting here. Yes, I understand that there are some of us who, we slackers, you come in to work and you sort of laze around and you don't do much. Unfortunately, that doesn't get you anywhere. And when your colleagues are moving forward and you're stuck at the back, I think what is needed is some introspection instead of somehow we play the victimization card, I think, a lot. And I think we need to get away from that and really know that what you contribute to the public service is meaningful. Our deputy governor who sits here often talks about becoming world class. And that is really possible, and it's within the realm of reality and not too far, in my view, right? And that's going to happen with the people sitting here.
Safe to say, a motivational moment. It was the occasion of the rebranding of the Department of Facilities Management.
The mission statement of the Department of Facilities Management: to professionally provide maintenance, custodial, and security services by ensuring that all government-owned and leased facilities are safe, clean, and well-maintained, and provide courier and chauffeur services to efficiently manage government's mail and transportation services in accordance with government policies and procedures. And your vision statement, which is, and we all understand that this is one part of a bigger picture. Your vision statement: to be a leading and innovative team that is recognized and respected for delivering world-class facility services through constant growth and development. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together. The Department of Facilities Management rebranding.
Some may ask, why a rebranding ceremony? The Facilities Management Unit was officially upgraded to a department on January 1st of 2023. However, to date, we still receive mails from ministries and departments addressing the Facilities Management Unit and the Facilities Manager.
Officers of the department were awarded certificates of appreciation during that ceremony, which was moderated by Zoe J. Walcott.
Another fact of the matter is rebranding is so essential. As highlighted by Director Donovan earlier this morning, because it signals a rebirth, not just communication to the rest of the territory that change has happened, because persons have seen it. I was actually with the seniors yesterday, and so many of them were remarking about what a blessing the shuttle is for a lot of them, for those who do not drive. So I want you to understand, from the babies to the grannies, they appreciate what you do.
Residents of District 9 have commenced the process to effect the changes and the development for both Virgin Gorda and Anegada.
I want to make it clear that this is not an anti-government group. This is not an anti-representative group. We have 5 representatives, and I believe that we have to hold them accountable, because you know who you've seen in the last 4 years. And we, as Rowan said, we have to stop talking and do. And it is not when we get up and we do that it is against the government, because all of us have to live here. And tonight, we can't stay here very long, you know, because tonight the water going off 9 o'clock. You know, I mean, this is the reality of the day. And tomorrow again, we're going to have the same problem. You know, and I feel badly for the guys at Water and Sewage, Public Works, etc., who, as Sharon said, have nothing to work with.
Former legislator Sharina Flax Charles is leading the charge, which kick off with a meeting of minds at the Catholic Community Center on May 3, 2023, when she took time reflecting on why the need to take the bull by the horn.
From since Armour, Speedies didn't go to St. Thomas, and it was from one excuse to the next. Ports was blaming immigration, immigration was blaming ports, somebody was blaming customs, etc. And it got to the point where we literally had to go to the media because we were not getting anywhere. The folks at Speedies were frustrated. All of us were frustrated, because that's another gateway for us, not only to go to St. Thomas for a doctor's appointment or to shop, but for visitors to come into Virgin Gorda. And it took us going to the media to really get any type of action. We're still having a challenge there, where there's no shade where persons line up. I've called, I've done everything, I've written WhatsApp, I've done all of that. And we still are here without that roof. I don't know if they've corrected the sewage problem there, because most times when that ferry comes in on a Saturday, the first complaint from Immigration and Customs is the smell of the sewer at the port. Look at the condition of the port itself. These are the things we need to look at. Look at the condition of the dock and so forth in Anegada. It's not even a port of entry. We need to decide how we're going to move forward. We cannot wait for persons in government to do things. Maybe there's some of us in the room that can write a cabinet paper. It's not our job, but we're the ones that are suffering. So I like the idea that Sharon has of some sort of an NGO type of situation, because we need to be able to take the bull by the horns. And some people might say, well, you were in government, and trust me, the frustration is real. The frustration is real. Too much red tape. And as I read out of that magazine, the total from 2018, I believe, was $36 million collected in the 9th district for non-belanger landholders licensing fees. And how much of that have you seen? The admin buildings were repaired using funds from the Caribbean Development Bank, from the government before the NDP government. Those funds were there before 2019. So if we're collecting all of these funds, yes, we have recurrent expenses, meaning the salaries, the pensions, etc. There must be some fair way. Out of 36 million, off the top of my head, how much of that do we get? There were 21 projects listed in December that are going to happen in 2023 through the Ministry of Communications and Works. 0 projects are slated for the 9th district. How is that right? I was in a meeting recently. One company last year paid $600,000 in hotel accommodation tax. Another paid $2 million in hotel accommodation tax to government. Why are we at the stage that we're at? And if we as a people don't come together to make sure that we get our fair share, we shouldn't be driving on roads that are in this condition at all. But I've been told that Vojingarda has the best roads. We have no potholes. And so we all know that. I mean, I've been told that there are no potholes from Trellis Bay to town. So, you know, we really have to get serious and come together, but we need to write, we need to agitate. When there's an issue, I know that everybody has to walk, but we need to get up. When they tried to close the baths to cruise ships only, 4 of us went up there. There were 1 or 2 people in their cars, but there were only 4 of us. And whether you want to believe it or not, everyone in this room depends on the baths in some way, shape, or form. Even persons in Tortola and beyond, in order to survive, in order to make their living. And so, at the end of the day, we have to be brave and we have to get up, speak up.
While it was established that a similar meeting will be held on the island of Anegada, chairman of the Anegada Land Committee, Darrell Ron, was at the Virgin Gorda meeting and had much to contribute. Here's just a snippet.
Primarily in the 9th district, I feel we should focus on 5 pillars. There are 5 things that every community, I don't care if it's 100 people to 100,000 people. That's healthcare, that's banking, that's transportation, education, and food security. Everybody agree with me on that, right? The point I'm saying for that is, let's start with them 5 pillars, and I'm pretty sure everything that would be mentioned in here today could break off of them 5 pillars. Secondly, there is nothing wrong with trusting the people we elected. I know me and Honorable Vincent Whitley did not start out as the best of friends. There was a lot of tension, there was a lot of turmoil, but 2 words changed all of that. October 24th of 2021, and those words were clean slate. That's when the democracy and the conversation started to happen, and putting aside the foolishness, you understand? Because you can't have progress in confusion. Now, I would tell you, sometimes you have to make a little noise to be heard. Once we were heard and we felt like we were being listened to, there has never been a hiccup, ever. From October 24th, I, Chairman Rowan, would say publicly, there has never been a hiccup with us and the government since then. So I ain't telling you what I think, I'm telling you what I know. There is no reason why we can't come together, sit down, work together, put aside all our differences, write down 10 main points, start with 10. We can have 100, take the 10 most important ones. And like Ms. Flax-Brito say, write a position paper, speak to the representative, work with him. That's what we vote him there for, work with him. But for us to sit back and think that we don't have a role to play in this, we fooling ourselves. We are. Like, I don't know no other way of saying it. VG, y'all hold the crown as far as District 9. In my humble opinion, as an Anegadian, I gonna make sure you get what you need from me. When the other Anegadians rally around us and move in the same direction as we are one head, once Vojingara get what she need, then Vojingara you make sure Anegada get what she need. It's do for do, as my grandmother would say. And we know what it ain't. We ain't gonna say it out, but we know what it do for do ain't. So let's work together. It don't make no sense because from a I want to say it correctly, from a standpoint of paperwork, legislation, Anegada good enough. I need her to hear me. Anegada is good enough. Anegada have a land ordinance from the Queen of England. Regardless of what happened, Anegadians are going to get what is theirs. But Virgin Guardians, what I have, answer a question for me. What do I have? Thank you. I don't even have the opportunity to have a land committee because it was just taken from I in the land report. How much are I even aware of that? It gone. So I am not saying kick up and go on like that. Write it down on a piece of paper. Hey, we would like to have the determination to do whatever it is we want to do. I am pretty sure me and my colleagues on the Anegada Land Committee would back you on that too. I feel that it should be extended to Joseph Van Dyke as well. Have the ability to guide your own destiny. So I am saying you start with that. 5. We don't have to complicate it. From that 5, we break down into branches.
Persons of all walks of life, affiliations, and groupings were present at that meeting and made meaningful contributions, extracts from which we will share with you in a subsequent edition of Front Row. Now for Digicel Sports Calendar.
I'm Dean, the Sportsman Greenaway, Digicel Brand Ambassador. You know sports is my forte. Let me tell you everything that they tell me is going on this weekend. The 9th Dag Samuel Development Series meet will be a 2-day affair, kicking off at 5 p.m. on Friday, and it features age group events. Activities will begin with the 60-meter hurdles for under 13, the 80-meter hurdles for under 15, and the ball throw for under 15. Saturday's activities will begin at 10 a.m. with the high jump, shot put, and the open hammer throw. Saturday afternoon session at 2 will see long jump for under 13 and under 15, shot put under 17 to open, and discus under 17 to open. The track events will include the 400 meters, 80 meters, 60 meters, 60 meters under 9, 110 and 100 meter hurdles, the 100 meters, the 800, 1000 and 1200 meters in the multis. There will be an open 800 meters, a 120, 150 and a 200 meters under 15 to open. Softball action in the Virgin Islands Softball Baseball Association will kick off at 7:30 p.m. on Friday with the West Mobsters and Storm. Saturday at 6, VG Heat and the Pirates. At 8 p.m., Lady Wings and West End Warriors. Sunday at 5, it's Synergy and Problems. And at 7, Power Outage and No Fear. The HLSCC Stingrays and Phoenix Blue will kick off action in the Virgin Islands Volleyball Association at 7 p.m. on Friday. At 8:30, it's Phoenix Men versus the Guns. Saturday at 6, Who's Next versus Phoenix Blue, and at 7:30, Elite and Phoenix Red. Sunday at 4, it's a junior game. At 5:30, it's the Stingrays and the Hawks, and at 7 p.m., Kiss My Ace and Rap Power. And coming up in the BVI Football Association League, there's only one game to end the BVI Football Association regular season. It will be the battle for Virgin Gorda between the Virgin Gorda Sugar Boys and Virgin Gorda United at the Valley Recreation Grounds at 6:30 p.m. on Sunday. On February 13th, it will be the Big Four competition. One Love and Virgin Gorda United at 6:30 p.m. in Greenland, and the Volus and Sugar Boys and Virgin Gorda at 6:30 p.m. on May 14th. That's the Digicel Sports Max Sports Calendar. I'm Brand Ambassador Dean, the Sportsman Greenaway. You want to get something you are doing covered in sports? Hit me up at 340-3545.
We urge you to continue to follow us here and on our other social media platforms, including our website, jahphixtelevision.com. Thank you for joining us for this edition of Front Row. I'm Kathy Richards.